Coming to commercial air service at Sioux Gateway Airport, that as city officials urge the federal government to approve a plan that would allow charter flights to serve Sioux Gateway.
City officials say the change would give Sioux City's only airline, SkyWest, more flexibility to keep flights going. As KTIV's Matt Hoffman reports, the change would also include a 20-seat reduction on each flight.
Flights continue like normal at Sioux Gateway Airport, with SkyWest planes flying under the United Express banner. But SkyWest has filed a request with the U.S. Department of Transportation that, if granted, would allow the airline to conduct charter flights at the airport. Those charter flights would replace current service, a move city officials support.
But hopefully the traveling public really doesn't see a difference. The difference they will see is the number of seats in the aircraft, but beyond that, hopefully their experience isn't any different than it is today.
If approved, the number of passengers on each flight would drop from 50 to 30. The Airline Pilots Association opposes the move, citing safety concerns. The association says charter plane rules require fewer flight hours for first officers.
It must be stopped because it would open the floodgates to others who would put profit ahead of safety. And we'll have a race to the bottom and go right back to where we were before the law was changed in 2010.
Collette says SkyWest has committed to using the same safety standards as they do today. There is a bit of a time crunch, airport officials say, because SkyWest's contract here at the airport ends in March of 2024 either way. So whether or not that charter service gets approved could be a determining factor in what the air service here looks like moving forward.
Basically, they're still waiting for DOT's response on that. So as it drags out longer, communities are becoming less patient, and they're wanting legislators to get involved and see where it's at in the status.
The ALPA and the city say there's no timetable for when the DOT may rule on the application. Collette says Sioux City would still have 12 flights per week headed to Denver and Chicago. In Sioux City, Matt Hoffman, KTIV News 4.
The Sioux City City Council recently approved funds for apron improvements at the airport. Collette said the project cost about $650,000 and 95% of the funds were provided by the FAA. He says the airport will remain open throughout the project as it's phased in.